If there's two words I can use to describe my short time with the Battlefield 6 beta over the weekend, those two words would simply be absolute cinema. Honestly, Battlefield 6 needed this. We as gamers needed this. This game seems to be exactly what we've needed in the AAA modern shooter space for a very, very long time. The problem is, though, Battlefield has never truly lived up to its predecessors, in my opinion, of Battlefield 3 and 4. Even though Battlefield 1 did do somewhat well on Steam with very positive reviews, let's just say the reception of adding specific soldiers to the actual game didn't go over so well, with EA basically telling you if you don't like it, don't buy it. And that really isn't a good thing to say to potential customers, now is it? On top of that, with Battlefield 2042 coming out 4 years ago, things aren't looking well at all. That's really bad. That's really bad. I didn't think it was that bad. I really felt like Baby's first UI in a Battlefield game really did hurt it quite a bit. But the fact that this game is basically just a lame duck and really just making a bad example of what a Battlefield game should be isn't a good thing as well. On top of that, Call of Duty has been an absolute dumpster fire. I mean, if you go anywhere online, all you see are people complaining about COD, yet still playing COD because there's no true alternative for those players to play. And I really feel like the Beavis and Butthead and American Dad skins were honestly the last straw for a lot of people. And this is where things can get really sticky, because Call of Duty is the 100 million player count gorilla in the room. And right now, EA seems to be the one trying to vie for that crown, even though Battlefield has never truly kept up with Call of Duty's sales figures or even player count throughout its entire lifespan as a series. But this may be the one chance that EA and Battlefield have to truly cement themselves as a proper alternative for this type of genre. And I can almost dare even say this could also be a real wake-up call for the AAA gaming industry. You see, right now, Activision Blizzard is apparently stating that they are not worried about Battlefield 6, and I quote, "Exclusive from Insider Gaming and Tom Henderson, Activision leadership isn't worried about Battlefield 6 because Call of Duty is, quote, too big to fail." Now, if you want to talk about the definition of hubris, ladies and gentlemen, I think that is absolutely 100% it. I have never seen a company literally go out and say, oh, those guys, we're not worried about them. They'll never go ahead and catch up to us. And every time somebody says that, usually things go the wrong way for the person saying that. Now, if you want to talk about a statement full of hubris, I think that is absolutely 100% it. Now, after Xbox and Microsoft bought Activision Blizzard, my expectation would have been, hey boys, maybe slow it down a little bit, because right now the IPs that you guys have really aren't doing that well. When you compare Diablo 4 to Path of Exile, that's not doing too hot. When you compare World of Warcraft to OSRS, a game that is far older, that is doing much better numbers even right now, is a big problem for two major marquee titles in the Activision Blizzard catalog. And now Battlefield 6 could be that third pillar coming around the corner to really put down and say, hey, maybe you guys should think more about the content you're putting in the game and less about roller coaster weapon skins. No, I'm not kidding. Look at this. This is what they're doing now. But you see, there's more to this story, because the article from Insider Gaming in fact said this. Speaking with sources who wish to remain anonymous because they were not authorized to talk about Activision's internal conversations, it's been said that although Activision is keeping a close eye on Battlefield, they are not worried about the game outcompeting its flagship franchise. It's said that Activision leadership believes Call of Duty is, quote, too big to fail and will remain profitable, annually released franchise for many years to come. At the time of writing, an annual Call of Duty title is penciled for the next 4 years at least. Now, you already know Xbox and Activision Blizzard definitely have plans in the pipeline for Call of Duties every single year. The thing is, though, they even already announced Black Ops 7 on their last recent showcase. The thing is, though, they really should be looking at what Battlefield 6 is doing, because it turns out Battlefield 6 this may truly be the one to look out for. Because even Microsoft hater extraordinaire Mike Ibarra in fact said this: Battlefield will boot stomp COD this year, but the real win here is COD won't be lazy anymore and will get better FPS games for it. I'm actually in Mike Ibarra's corner about this. I kind of do want Battlefield 6 to boot stomp COD this year, mostly because it would actually put Call of Duty in a real gear to realize, hey, we're not that 600-pound gorilla that we always tend to be because there's no true competition. And EA may in fact finally have their head out of their ass to do something proper for one of their main core pillar franchises. However, though, I'm not counting everything out because there are some concerns we're going to bring up in just a moment. The thing is, though, with Battlefield 6 really outperforming basically every other Battlefield, it goes to show this could be the one that has the legs to do it. According to WCCF Tech, Battlefield 2042's highest concurrent player count on Steam only reached 107,376 players, a mark reached 2 years after it launched. The Battlefield 6 beta already reached a peak of 334,549 concurrent players. This is simply just the beta on Steam numbers. They are already almost tripling the actual amounts on a beta compared to a fully released game in just a weekend. But it gets even crazier for this, because according to Insider Gaming, the Battlefield 6 open beta hits 500,000 concurrent players on Steam and passes Call of Duty's all-time high. Look, I'm sorry, boys. Philly Spence, you need to get out of your chair and grab yourself that bald-headed sumbitch, Satya Nadella, and grab them, go right down to Activision Blizzard and tell them, hey, boys, check this shit out. A beta that launched in over a weekend literally outpaced your entire all-time high. That same game that you guys said you weren't worried about, that same title you guys said will never compete with you, that same game you guys had never looked back at because you've been at the top of the mountain for so long, they just beat your all-time player record in 48 hours on a beta. Not to mention on the PC platform, they required you to turn on Secure Boot. So any player that didn't have Secure Boot on had to go through a rigorous process, or a more annoying one actually, to go through and have it activated. Meaning that people went through, activated Secure Boot in Windows, going into their BIOS to have it active, to go back and play this game. Any barrier of friction that was applied to the player was literally going around and being removed altogether simply by the hype of what this game provides. But the thing is, it's not all sunshine and rainbows. There have been massive reports on what EA is trying to gain out of Battlefield 6. Their goal is 100 million users on this game as an actual platform. That's right. They're not just selling you a game anymore. Now they want to sell you Battlefield as a platform. And this is where I'm getting concerned about this title specifically. The problem is EA doesn't, let's say, have the best track record of keeping their video games alive or even doing the right thing for their video games. The fact that Apex Legends has had consistent controversies about whether or not people are allowed to play depending on the operating system. The fact that Dragon Age Veilguard didn't do well at all and basically just crashed and burned. The fact that so many other EA properties and titles have been thrown to the wayside, canceled, removed, deleted, just completely screwed over because EA's insane monetary hunger and lack of ability to actually control itself when trying to provide proper content for the player and consumer. In fact, there was a great breakdown about this in Ars Technica from an article last month. Here's some of the excerpts. Today, publisher EA is in full production on the next Battlefield title, but sources close to the project say it has faced culture clashes, ballooning budgets, and major disruptions that have left many team members fearful that parts of the game will not be finished to player satisfaction in time for launch during EA's fiscal year. They also say the company has had major structural and cultural changes to how Battlefield games are created to ensure it can release titles of unprecedented scope and scale. This is all to compete with incumbents like Call of Duty games and Fortnite, even though no prior Battlefield has achieved anywhere close to that level of popular and commercial success. Now, that is a scary thing to see, especially just from a month ago from that article directly. The thing is, though, After the beta that we saw this past weekend, I can confidently say if things stay the same, if the game launches in this state and doesn't have any major issues with servers, matchmaking, or even just content in general, you're going to see a very different Battlefield. I think EA may have actually struck gold with this one, especially with how the reception has been across the board from so many content creators playing this game, even though EA has paid them massive amounts of money to promote that title as well. With EA literally going through and having a multi-million-dollar ad campaign with tons of content creators, which is why you saw everybody streaming it on this exact same weekend to hand out beta keys to have more people play it, inflating those numbers on Twitch, creating more hype, and then having people get more excited. The good thing, though, is the fact that Battlefield 6 itself seems to be hitting all the right marks on what a good game and what a good Battlefield game should be. So that is, in fact, a good sign, and it seems to be money being well spent. The problem, though, is this is EA. They're going to expect something in return for that kind of money being spent. And really, what they're looking at is trying to make Battlefield into an ultimate gaming platform. But there are still massive problems to deal with Battlefield 6. The issue right now is even over the weekend, even with Secure Boot being active on many PCs, there were still hackers and people going around and cheating in Battlefield 6. According to Charlie Intel, EA says Battlefield 6 anti-cheat has prevented over 330,000 attempts at cheating since the beta started. Hey, that sounds great, right? 500,000 concurrent players plus 330,000 people getting banned or no longer having access to play the game. But you see, that's really not enough, because we can even see here directly with this PNG tuber trying to pretend to be a cat, going around and full-on cheating on Battlefield 6 live on Twitch and just celebrating how good they were while playing it. The funniest part about that streamer is literally the next day, they were streaming a hand cam as if that proves they're not cheating while playing Battlefield 6. And lo and behold, they got banned off Twitch. So clearly they were in fact 100% cheating while playing the game. This really throws into question why even on earth does Battlefield 6 require Secure Boot or even access to the kernel of my PC if people can already hack the game in the beta and start to cheat already. This is going to be a massive issue that Battlefield and EA have to fix before the game's launch, because if they don't have this locked down, if they don't fix this right away, people are going to leave the actual game and, dare I even say, platform in droves, especially if they're not getting a fair play while playing the game that they're paying money for. Now, you're probably wondering why I keep saying the word platform, and with Battlefield 6, there's a specific reason for that. Remember, even though this beta was fantastic, this is still Electronic Arts. Yes, that same Electronic Arts, that same company that will literally go through and sell you a copy of Dragon Age Origins, yet put DLC in the game, and then force you to go ahead, interact with an NPC character to make you buy DLC in the game to buy more stuff when you bought the game. That's this Electronic Arts, still to this day. The thing is, though, they are trying to turn Battlefield into a platform specifically, and some of their inspiration has come directly from Fortnite and, dare I even say, things like Roblox. You see, according to the game developer, Battlefield 6's Godot-powered UGC mode, or user-generated content mode, is the heart of EA's big live service swing for the series. If you don't know about UGC, that's basically user-generated content, and Godot is an engine similar to Unity. They're basically giving you access to an entire engine to make your own scripts, to make your own levels, to make your own designs, make your own maps, and provide tons of user-generated content on top of actual premium content that the developers are in fact creating as well. So it sounds like almost, instead of actually trying to sell you Beavis and Butthead skins, they're going to sell you just more content in general and keep you playing into the game, especially by using user-generated content, similar to Halo in Forge mode, where you got to play all those kinds of cool things like Griffball and everything else along that way. It's a good way to keep players engaged and part of your platform. In fact, the director of Battlefield 6 said this: I think that with a project of this scale and with a franchise that's so iconic and beloved, we want to do right by our player base. So there's a lot of pressure that comes with that, said the director of production. But I would say we're laser focused on what we need to do, and I'm excited about what we have with Battlefield 6. Even what we have here today, what people will be able to experience in the upcoming open beta, it feels like a really exciting and energizing time. And I think even though the pressure is high, what we're going to be able to deliver is going to be something really solid that I know our fans are going to love. You see, that all sounds well and good, and what they're talking about is Battlefield Labs and Battlefield Portal, having the ability to make that UGC or user-generated content, to go through and keep the player engaged and even playing more, giving you more ways to play, more things to do, and to still keep having fun. Remember that whole thing? Having fun? The difference is, though, even with having Godot as the main engine and front interface, giving people the ability to script actual lines of code, giving people access to generate maps and content directly, and having premium content as well from the developers, it goes to show that there is, in fact, another reason behind it. And EA CEO said this: "Between the lines, for EA, creation of more content by developers or players is expected to boost playing time. Increasing in playing time are then expected to boost EA's revenue. That's because the company's games, like many in the industry, are designed to offer players more in-game content to buy for weeks and months after released. Minutes engaged and money spent correlates on an almost one-to-one basis," Wilson said. "So whether we create the content or a community creates the content, provided it's high quality, provided it's engaging, it represents an extraordinary opportunity for us." This isn't something that they're doing out of the goodness of their heart. They know that the longer you spend playing a game, the more you will spend money on that game. And that's been shown over and over again. It's why every single game tries to be like Fortnite. The content being provided keeps you going back to that platform, not just a video game anymore. They're trying to compete with Fortnite itself, not just with Call of Duty. And they're also competing with every other single player game and every other live service game. So if they can provide you, the user, with more tools to make more content for the player base and give the actual players more content from the actual developers, then you're going to be seeing a lot of people spend more money on that platform directly. And if you think that you're not going to spend a lot of money, just look at this guy, where he spent $32,000 on NBA 2K. I'm not kidding. To spend that amount of money, to be that dedicated to a video game, is exactly what all these CEOs want, is exactly why they keep trying to make every game into a platform. Call of Duty is doing it by selling skins. EA is going to try and do it by giving you content, i.e. the Roblox route. That's really what it's going to be. The problem, though, is how are they going to make it easily and accessible for you as a consumer and player, and also how are they going to provide you with good content throughout the entire lifespan of that game? The big question, though, here is this: if Battlefield can pull this off, if they can provide you with good content, if they can give you more reasons to keep playing by providing good UGC or user-generated content, are they going to be able to succeed? And I think this may be the perfect catalyst in the moment in time. People are sick of Call of Duty. They're sick of the fact that COD is nothing more than a shell of its former self. As someone that has played the original Modern Warfare 1 and 2 way back in the 360 days, I'm aging myself. My knees crack when I sit down. It really goes to show, every time I look at COD now, I think, what the hell happened? This is garbage. What is this? And going back to playing Battlefield, I feel like I'm basically just back in those days, having fun with the boys again. It's almost like EA is striking a balance between trying to be as greedy corporatized as possible, but also offering a good product. And that is where I'm going to offer a massive warning. Do not pre-order Battlefield 6. I know that's a really wild thing to say. Alex, you've glazed this game since you made the video from the very beginning. I'm still skeptical about it simply because this is Electronic Arts, the same EA that has done everything possible to be as greedy as possible with every single kind of IP that they own. Even though everything has gone off really well, even though it seems like they have the dream team of first-person shooters lined up for this game, you should still wait. Now, I know I'm going to get the whole, like, you shouldn't tell people what to do with their money. What are you, broke? It's not about that. It's about sending a clear message to the AAA industry. If, big ifs, boys, big ifs, EA actually does the right thing, like they did during that one time during their entire life, where they actually made good games like Dead Space, Mirror's Edge, and etc., and Dragon Age, then maybe they'll deserve your money, and hopefully they'll do the right thing and provide you with more content rather than just giving you more skins and garbage throughout the entire time frame and just having this entire thing fall apart under them. They're treating this like a platform. You should be cautious of it, especially with your hard-earned money. I'm going to absolutely wait on buying this game because I want to see what the next beta weekend holds and what else is going to be coming down the pipeline. But I have to say, I'm tentatively excited about what this game has been providing so far, and I'm truly hoping, praying for some really weird miracle that EA can truly send a message to Microsoft and Activision Blizzard that, hey, you're not the king of the hill anymore. You guys have got to start competing, and you have to do better for the customer and consumer and giving them more content to go ahead and keep playing your game. When there's true competition, when there's games fighting for your time by giving you better experiences, that's how you win overall. And hopefully in the end, when this game launches, that'll be the outcome that we're looking for, because that will make Call of Duty better, that will make Xbox better, and that will make Battlefield even better as well. So hopefully we get to see that happen, because that would be the best outcome for everyone. Well, ladies and gentlemen, let me know what you guys think about this in the comments section down below. Are you going to pick up Battlefield 6? Are you skipping it? Are you staying with COD? I want to hear what you guys have to say. If you want to see more of this kind of content, more PC port reviews, gaming news, Steam Deck videos, fanboy content, my hot takes in the gaming industry like this, and even more, subscribe to the channel. We're on our way to 90,000 subs, and I just got to say thank you guys so very much. If you want Discord access or most during live streams, become a YouTube member. It's as low as $1. If you don't want to spend the buck, don't sweat it. Show up Saturday nights, 8:45 p.m. Eastern for the live stream. Trust me, you don't want to miss it. Saturday nights, 8:45 p.m. Eastern, live on this channel. It's an insane stream as I get insulted by AITTS from about 800 to 900 people for 5 hours straight. You don't want to miss it. With all that being said, though, thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you have a great one, and I'll see you gooners next time. Peace!